2022.
Sorry, thank Okay, that should work.
Okay, 6:45 p.m. and I call this meeting of the Needham Design Review Board to order. We appreciate you all adjusting to the time change so that we can move the outdoor seating patio review through early enough that you can attend the planning board hearing tonight. I am the board chair, Mark Lusing. I would like to confirm that all members and applicants are present and can hear me. So members, when I call your name, please respond. Susan Orton. Susan, can you hear me? Susan, can we hear me?
Yes, it's Susan
Okay.
Ogden.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I didn't
okay.
know who. Bad typo. I just was
OPTON.
sorry. Chad Riley.
Here.
Steve Tanner.
Here.
Also attending our town staff members, Rana Dorfer and Elisa Lichman. And the applicants, just please respond, the representatives. Latin A, 30 Dedham Ave.
Here.
Farmhouse, 970 Great Plain. Hearth Pizzeria.
Here.
Hi, Ivan. The James, 1025 Great Plain.
Hey, yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Stuart. And there are two signs for Beth Israel Leahy Health, 310 Chestnut and 817 Highland.
Here.
Okay. Welcome to this open meeting of the Needham Design Review Board, which is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Needham Design Review Board is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website on the Design Review Board page, identifying how the public may join. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. Design Review Board meetings typically do not require public comment. All supporting materials that have been provided to this board are available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share unless the chair approves. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. I would like to review the remote meetings procedures for tonight. I will introduce each applicant on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will take comments or questions from the Design Review Board members. Each vote will be a roll call vote. And at the end, the building department requires electronic submission of building permit applications. A copy of your application stamped and noted for the type of approval it receives will be emailed to you by the DRB support staff. That can then be attached to your building permit application. One deviation from our usual process is that for these patio designs, we typically would write a memo to the planning board with any comments that we have. But because of the scheduling conflicts, we're going to send Chad Riley, one of our members, off to the planning board meeting with all of the applicants after we get through the restaurants. And then, excuse me, then we will finish up reviewing the Beth Leahy signs with the remaining members. And thank you for your cooperation with that. So we can start with the first item on the agenda, Latin A. We have a package of these 4 restaurant outdoor seating designs. They were all previously approved by the board of, well, the select board under a different program. They weren't all? Yeah, I thought they all. Okay, 2 of them had. But there was a program that the select board put in place during the COVID restrictions that allowed outdoor seating to be installed. They had a procedure and some of the applicants went through that already and established the seating. The planning board then revised the zoning bylaws and got that approved so that this could actually be legal, not a special sort of allowed use. And so consequently, all these restaurants have previously gotten some sort of approval from the planning board, whether a special permit or a major project review. And the planning board now wants to add this aspect of their facility into the record that they have on their approval. So that's really kind of why they're here. And as part of that, they asked that we would, for the design review board to participate, similar to what we would have if they had just done this in their original application. So that being said, let's start with, I want to go through these one at a time and then we'll vote them. And you're free to move on to the planning board meeting if you want, or you can wait and see what the comments are on the rest. There may be some general comments that Chad will relay at the end of our review. So the first applicant is Latin A, 30 Dedham Ave. I think everyone's got the drawings. Would you like to speak to it, Dora?
Sorry. Yeah, so we are planning to do the same that we've done the 2 past years. We have 10 tables located in the alley between the 2 buildings. It's limited by the orange jersey barriers provided at Neontown. The other side's limited by the planters at 50 Dayan Avenue. And that's it. We have a simple lighting. We have a couple of heaters and, planters everywhere, and very simple. That's it.
Okay. Questions, comments, Chad?
I have not dined there myself, but I certainly saw it over the last 2 years when it was there, and everything seems to be done in a tasteful and organized and orderly manner. So from a design standpoint, I believe they had a photo in their packet of the sort of before and after. I think on the whole, it's an improvement to the area to have the seating and the area neatly arranged and to not have it there. So I really don't have any exceptions to the proposal.
Okay, Susan?
I'm good. I think it looks nice.
Okay, Steve?
I think it looks nice. The only thing that concerns me are these orange jersey barriers. I know the town provides them, but I wonder if they can be enhanced with the graphics of some nature that also lets them stand out and not be quite as stark as they are. I mean, like the ones on Great Plain Ave are really pretty ugly. That's just my comment.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd make a general comment right now. I'm not inclined to require them to do anything to them, but we do, I think in general, we would recommend that you go ahead and decorate them or put something around them, whatever you might choose to do, whether they're painted. I think French Press painted his decoratively. Others have put some trellis around them or something. Again, because this was a program that was started under a different operation, I'm not inclined to make it a requirement, but I would recommend that you think about doing something decorative to those as well. So that's my only comment. I do think it came out well, the furniture, and we appreciate all the information, the plan and all the furniture information. That's very helpful for us.
Thank you.
So I would, at this point, take a motion to approve Latin A kitchen and bar outdoor seating as submitted.
Thank you.
So I'm looking for a motion from the board members.
So moved.
Seconded.
Second. Okay. And the vote, Susan Upton,
Yes.
Chad Riley,
Yes.
Steve Tanner,
Yes.
and the chair approves. So thank you. And the next item is the farmhouse right across the street. We're going to really hover around this corner tonight. So Dora, do you have anything you'd like to say, please?
Yeah, I do. Hi, everybody. Nice to see
Hi.
you. Steve Tanner did our sign. Brilliant, all by hand. brilliant, brilliant, brilliant work. I know I wasn't so easy to work with. He did an amazing job. So if you want your barriers decorated and you like our sign, Steve Tanner's your guy. He saved me. Love it. Hi everyone. Hi
Hey.
Needham. You guys are amazing. You went above and beyond, far beyond what other towns were doing to support restaurants during COVID. And I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, so me and Ivan have wanted to do this for a long time. Pretty awesome. It's coming to fruition. We want to put in 58 seats in the rear of the restaurant. That is what we did during COVID. We met with our architect who helped us do Farmhouse and our other restaurant recently. So gonna put in a whole chunk of money to put in some really tasteful landscaping and so on and so forth for the barriers. 58 seats outside, decrease inside seating to 76 seats as opposed to 100 during the patio season, because we have 3 toilets and they said that we couldn't have more than 135 seats. So decreasing indoors to 76 seats during patio season, which we think is going to be around April 1st to October 31st, and have 58 seats outside.
Yeah, I did notice that looking at the photos last year, there was, I thought it would look nice out there. I'd been there, but I was surprised to see the giant guardrail like you'd see on a highway along the fence on the property line. So it's nice to see you're improving those edges now that this is more of a permanent feature. So
they told us we had to have that. We had to have that rail.
Yeah,
the town said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Susan, would you like to start us off? Do you have any questions or comments?
I don't really. Sorry.
Well, it's okay.
I mean,
Chad?
I think it looks nice, but
Yep.
this is my second meeting and I didn't have, I mean, you said it was approved, so I assume all the regulations are met.
Well, it was approved under a different program and we didn't look at them. So that's why we're here. If you have
Okay.
any thoughts on it, you'll be happy to, just let us know.
No, it looks like there's space between the tables and
Okay.
it's fine with me.
Okay. Steve?
I think it's an improvement to what was there before with the covering of the guardrail and the plantings along the other edge. And I think it looks very nice.
Chad?
In full disclosure, I did dine here once at the outdoor. It was, pleasant before. I definitely appreciate the improvements. Not so much a design thing. I doubt there's much that can be done about it, but the only thing that was a little odd was just the proximity to the dumpsters. It's a little hard to avoid, and there's probably nowhere else they can go. But I think just in terms of the design of the space and the layout, it was well done. And for the improvements, it should be even better for this next season.
Okay, well, I would concur. The dumpsters have always been a little bit of an issue there, but that I believe there is a wood fence. Is that storage only, or are there dumpsters in that wood fenced area beyond the end?
So the dumpsters are CVS. They
Right.
have nothing
Okay.
to do with Hearth and us. And like I said, about 5 years ago, Ivan and I petitioned to have CVS move them, and we couldn't get anywhere with their corporate offices. So we did luckily have several meetings, and the town has been gracious enough to allow us to have our dumpsters further away, more in like the center. They're not near the restaurant, so we bring our trash all the way over there. But those dumpsters are CVS. They have nothing to do with me and Hearth, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do because they're not really willing to bend.
Yeah, I understand. They were an issue when they were first coming in there. Okay, well, I would concur otherwise with the point. I like the additional planters and the upgrade of that wood screen fence on the side where that guardrail is. I think that looks great. So I think this is really going to be a nice space for you.
Thank you so much.
So I would take a motion to approve farmhouse outdoor seating as submitted.
So moved.
Seconded.
And we come to the vote. Susan,
Yes,
Chad,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and the chair approves. Thank you. Thanks, Dorf. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Do I go in the other call now or do I stay here?
You don't need to stay here. So
Okay.
you're free to go over there if you want.
Thank you.
I don't think
Bye.
they won't start
Bye,
on these
guys.
until everybody's done. But
love your restaurant.
Oh my God, love you. Thank you. Bye, Steve.
Bye.
okay, next is Hearth Pizzeria. Hi, Ivan. How are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
You want to give us a quick overview of yours, please?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for the town for being gracious with the restaurants. Definitely helped us out a lot. Back before COVID, we used to use that back space of our restaurant as a garden. I used to grow my herbs and tomato plants, and I put a picnic table, which we actually donated to the downtown back last year when we had everybody out in the town. And then when COVID came in, we had the idea of like, okay, so if we were to put a patio, what it would look like, as a family restaurant. We thought, we have to keep it like if it was your backyard, kind of like simple, good decoration, some trees and things like that. So with the help, we of an architect, Mark, back then, we created the space that's currently there, so that if we saw the opportunity that the town would legalize our patio at some point, we would be kind of like ahead of the curve. So that being the case now, we did have to make some upgrades. The structure, Jersey barrier in the back, we have 33 seats. We have a kind of like a countertop bar area, server station with a portable hand wash station in there, which works fine. It's fully wheelchair accessible from A to B, and it meets all criteria.
Right, that looks good. Yeah, full disclosure, under the program where the select board made the review, I did a drawing for Ivan to do a layout back here. I did not participate in any way in the current proposal, which is slightly different from what he had done, a little bit bigger, I believe.
Correct.
So Steve, any questions or comments?
No, I think it looks very nice, and I'm sure people are going to enjoy outside dining here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chad?
Concur.
Susan?
I think it looks nice. I'm just wondering about the wall. Is that owned by someone else? The building wall?
Yeah,
So the building, it's owned by the same landlord. It's CVS Farmhouse and Hearth. It's all one building.
I see.
yeah, that back wall is the wall of CVS.
I see.
What were you thinking?
It looks a little bland and blank to me, but if I don't know.
We put in a stainless steel sign that a dear friend of mine made for me, and we're also collaborating with our beer providers, and we're putting some tack tins back there, making it a little bit more happy and things like that. So definitely it's decorating, and also there's going to be like a little planter in the corner where we're hanging kind of like herbs and stuff like that. So it'll be nice.
Good. That was my only comment.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the Hearth was the first ones to not just use the Jersey barriers, or a little temporary fence. They really actually built those planters with a small screen wall. And I thought they came out really well. As he said, he invested in the hope that it would be made permanent, which it has. So I think it came out very well, and additional flourishes will certainly be welcome on the large wall, I'm sure. So at this point, I would take a motion to approve Hearth Pizzeria
So
outdoor
moved.
seating as submitted.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, do we vote? Susan,
Yes,
Chad,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and the chair approves. All right, thanks, Ivan.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
you too.
Next item is the James. Hi, Stuart.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good. You want to give us a quick overview?
Sure. Well, obviously, when everything shut down, we had no indoor dining, and the town was nice enough to provide the Jersey barriers, and we went from having 0 dining seats to 24 seats within 4 days, and making a patio work. Complete learning curve for us. But we also were able to move it out a bit and build on it, and we got it up to 44 seats during the summer, and only because of the patio we're having this conversation. We wouldn't be having this conversation if that wasn't there. So thank you very much for that, and the town for providing that. What we're proposing to do is basically keep it the same footprint. We have put in a raised platform along one side where it was just kind of getting waterlogged. Anytime it rained, it was just a puddle. So we just raised it up a little, and now we're looking to put in another raised platform coming from the back of the building with a handicapped accessible ramp up onto it, and basically keeping the same amount of seats.
Okay. All right. Again, any questions or comments, Chad?
No, in full disclosure, I ate this one as well and thought it was very well done, tastefully handled, and definitely an improvement to just a general parking lot that was otherwise there.
Susan?
No, I haven't eaten there, but it's an awfully welcoming entrance. I've been enticed to go in for sure.
Thank you.
Steve?
I think the raised platform really helps this project out quite a bit, because the parking lot's very uneven, aside from the water problems.
Yeah. I also thought you did a nice job of really trying to get early work on decorating the barriers a little bit by extending that fence up and having the lattice and painting, doing the little furniture canopies. I think it all came out well. The lighting's nice. You've got that area around the corner, which has a different kind of seating, at least did last year. If we're doing full disclosure, Bob Dermy and I usually end up here after our meetings regularly. So we could start doing that again. We'll meet there in person, not here. So it looks great, Stuart. I think it came out well. This is nice, and we appreciate again the information, the actual plan, and the photographs and the documentation. That's helpful for us to get into the record.
Thank you.
At this point, I would take a motion to approve the James outdoor seating as submitted.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. We come to the vote. Susan,
Yes,
Chad,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right. So thank you, and you're free to head over to the planning board meeting. We're going to send Chad over with you, and he will
Thank you
answer
very
any,
much, folks.
Chad will answer any questions they have about our discussions.
All right, signing off. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, thanks.
Good night, Chad.
So the next item, there are actually Beth Israel Leahy Health, both at two locations. We've got 310 Chestnut Street and 817 Highland Ave. Do you want to take us through, Jeff? Oh, I'm sorry, Ed.
Oh, it's Jeff.
Okay.
It says Edward Batten on the screen, but he's much younger than I am, and he's got a full head of hair.
Why don't we, are they pretty much the same sign?
They are, yes, they are the same construction, the same general look, slightly different dimensions.
Okay,
But other than that, they're identical.
all right. So why don't we sort of start with the 310 Chestnut Street application?
So it's just as a little bit of a background. So, I'm not sure, you guys probably know this because you already must have reviewed the signage for the hospital itself. Beth Israel and Lee, we have joined forces, if you will. We're working on strictly the primary care side of it right now. Nothing to do with the hospitals themselves. So private doctors that, I don't know, if I can get someone in this group to say full disclosure, you've gone to this hospital, that'll be great. Because anyway, so we're getting rid of the old Beth Israel Deaconess Healthcare signage across the board at about 52 of the locations that this is happening to. They've hired a design firm, Silver Perkins Design. Steve, you may know those guys, to basically handle the project, and we're just the fabricator and the installer. So the layouts that you've seen are the Beth Israel Leahy Health primary care with what they call the Bluebird is a lock-up format. We can't change the proportions and placement of colors of anything, as you can imagine. So at 310 Chestnut Street, there are currently two signs there, sort of a building standard design that goes along that entire sign band in that area. We're removing the one that says outpatient laboratory, and we're replacing the primary care sign that is to the right of it. So the construction of this sign is essentially identical to those other ones. It's just an aluminum frame, 1 inch deep. It's got an 1/8 inch aluminum face, epoxy to the frame, painted white, and graphics are vinyl. And that's about it for 310 Chestnut. Over at 817 Highland, it's the same type of sign. The designers they're trying to get consistency across the board with the sign types. So the sign design is basically the same. It's 24 by 96, which is the same size as the sign that's currently in place. We're also removing, there's a sign that you may not even know is there any longer on the fence in front of the property. That's just going to go away. So we're going to drop it down from 2 signs to 1 sign. The designers, the marketing departments from both Beth Israel and Leahy have been all over these things. So I know that the boards, I know the board may have some concerns with, say, the proximity of the Bluebird to the edge, but I'm hoping that you guys can see through to be okay with this, because running it back up and down the ladder to 20 or 30 people is pretty tough. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, we basically talk about the Chestnut Street one. I think it's the same sort of, whatever we decide is just proportionally different. So any comments or issues we'll flesh out there, and then we can decide if they apply both locations. So Steve, do you have any questions or comments on the 310 Chestnut application?
No, I think the sign is appropriate. I'm a little concerned about the bright white that they use. Maybe they could select a little off-white color, not so white. It's just my only,
Okay. Susan, any thoughts?
No,
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, Jeff, if you've been before us before, but we're pretty cautious about bright white background panels on darker buildings. And we often ask people to look at an alternative, given the scope of this approach. Go ahead, Steve.
also, what's the finish on the white paint? Is it gloss or matte or someplace in between?
It's a satin finish. And I will say this too, understanding what you folks just said about the bright white. And you architects and sign guys, you get it. But the photo rendering is definitely, especially for 310 Chestnut Street, the photo rendering is making it look a lot brighter than it actually is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to see the graphics on the existing signs because they're fairly thin stroke, but it's definitely not as aggressively bright as the photo rendering is making it look.
Okay. Well, it's not, because they're on light backgrounds. If they were on the brick, I think I would be more serious about it. But they are both one's on the concrete spandrel panel, and the other one is on a beige sort of color. So I'm welcome. We will accept your explanation that it's not, that it's partially just the photo rendering that's making the contrast look more intense. My other question is on the Chestnut Street location. Does that 20-inch sign fit completely above that little reveal that's on that spandrel panel? You see there's a little bit of a break at the bottom. I just want to confirm that it stays up all in the concrete.
So I definitely see what you're talking about, and I don't have a definitive answer for you on that because we measured the existing signs. So
Okay.
It does look like it hangs down slightly, but that could be the perspective. We could certainly make sure that it aligns with that recessed niche at the horizontal as it should.
Okay.
But we definitely can do that with a field measurement of the wall, not just of the sign.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions by the board? Right. So I would move that the 310 Chestnut Street sign be approved with the condition that it fit completely above that reveal at the bottom of the spandrel panel.
So moved.
Susan, could you second for me?
I second.
All right, and come to vote. Susan,
Approved.
Steve,
Approved.
and chair approves. The second item is the 817 Highland Avenue sign. I would take a motion to approve that sign as submitted.
Well, again, I'm complaining about the white. I mean, I think it should match look how much whiter it looks than the building color.
We can make
And the
it.
text is kind of like crammed in there, not like open space as the first sign had. I think the text needs to be shrunk about 10%.
We can definitely make it match the AZAC or whatever that material is that's on the building as far as because that is white. So I think it's that's fine. Just getting my calculator out, sorry.
Well, proportionally, is this similar to the other sign? You know, the one's 20, this is 24. You
Yeah,
raised
it's
the
a
letters an
slightly
inch.
different proportion. Am I muted? No, I'm not.
No, I hear you.
So, yeah, so it's a slightly different proportion. I'm no mathematician, but
Yeah.
I think we've definitely got a little more left space on the left and the right. You know, I don't think reducing this size of the copy slightly is going to be a big deal. So,
Okay, while you're looking at that, Steve, I wonder if we wouldn't want to match, not the brown, but the trim color, which is sort of a cream.
Right, that's
color.
right. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You see how the sign looks like in that
Yep.
right above? It looks crowded in there, but the drawing below looks less crowded, but
Yeah.
it's still a little bit crowded, the text and the logo.
Looking, what if we drop them to 4.5 inches, and then that'll shrink the overall, that'll shrink the bird proportionally. And that'll give another inch, over an inch of space, nearly an inch of space.
we could
Go
do
from-
Well, I think any reduction would be an improvement.
Okay. So why don't we go to 4.5, Jeff? And then reduce the bird proportionally to stay with that. And then the background color, you will attempt to match the trim
So,
color? Does that work?
just a quick question about the background color. Could we match the larger panels of the background? I can't tell if they're the same color or if they're a different color, but
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So
okay. All right. Yeah,
I think they are the same color. Yeah.
The paneling area below the sign.
Okay. All right, so I would take a motion to approve the 817 Highland Ave location sign with the conditions that the letter size be reduced to 4.5 and the bird graphic follow accordingly, proportionally, and that the background color be a closer match to the existing panels on the building.
So moved.
A second,
Okay, and we come to the vote. Susan,
approved.
Steve,
Yes.
and the chair approves. All right, so thanks, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, folks. I know you read it in the beginning, so we'll get an email
Yes,
for approval and then we go to building. Okay,
yeah, we'll stamp them and stamp the application. I'll send it to Elisa and she'll send it to you.
okay, awesome. All right, thank you. Elisa, thank you for your due diligence on getting us to get you the proper information. All right, thanks, folks. Have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we don't have any minutes tonight. So that's all of our business. If we want to go over and see how Chad's doing with the planning board, you're welcome to try and attempt that. So I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second that.
Okay, and we vote. Susan,
Yes.
Steve,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So we're adjourned. That was potentially painful, but not at all. So thanks, guys. Thanks. And thanks for coming early. Really, I didn't want we would have had to force them to go through the planning board and then come to us at our next meeting, which I didn't want to delay them farmhouse to what they had last year.